My video for April the 18th, 2019 is video number 3059. The title is Christians Deceived by the Trump Train. This is a video topic I have held off for a good while now, really hoping I was wrong. Many Christian friends supported Donald Trump in the last election. If they had not done so, crooked Hillary, who I think is only a clone at best, would be U.S. president. Perhaps it does not matter. Things seem to be playing out as the demons planned. Of course, Christians have been duped for a long time, thinking the restoration of Israel as a nation was somehow the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, despite the fact that the Prince of Peace has not yet returned. Some predict that Christians can now look forward to their own mass extinction. In the Bible, that is referred to as the Great Tribulation. It is a war meant to eradicate truth and ultimately replace humanity with clone slaves, that is, non-human robots. I'd give most anything if I could see the Donald as the savior he has been portrayed as, but I cannot. He is what he has always been, a wheeler and dealer who plays the game and marches to the beat of the Zionist elite money changers. Sadly, folks, it may all be a demonic con game. I really want to be wrong. I sat here and looked at that blurb for a good while after I wrote it. And as I said, I've held this thing off for a long time. I've wanted very much to be wrong. I wanted to see Trump turning America around and ultimately taking the Zionists out. But with the election of Netanyahu recently, the re-election of Netanyahu, I see the same criminal elite sitting in power in the nation that has been used along with the United States to instigate war all over the planet. It doesn't look as if it's going to change. Not anytime soon, not in Donald Trump's presidency, certainly not the first term. And I don't know that the second term will be any different if there is a second term. And I'm wondering, does it really matter? Well, it does matter to me. I want peace on earth. I want love and truth to prevail. I want the promises of God that I believed in since I was a little boy to be kept. That's perhaps too much to ask in a world that more and more seems to be run by those who not only are not benevolent, they are malevolent. The game plan is eradication of anyone that opposes them. I said Christians, and that's true, but any group that opposes them, whether it's Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists. I don't know that atheists would necessarily oppose them. They may be in the same camp, because I really do believe that the Zionists are atheists. Not necessarily everyone who is a Zionist would be an atheist. Again, I don't like to make blanket statements, but it seems like sometimes that that's what I'm doing. There are always the exceptions. There are always the instances of people who see through the managed news and the manipulation of perception and are able to focus a little more deeply into the picture that's being portrayed and see behind the scenes, see the man behind the curtain pulling the strings, or in this case, as I see it, the demons pulling the strings. Is the loving God going to ever take action? Is there even a loving God? Does such a God exist? Or has the whole thing been a deception all along from the onset? I'd like to believe not. There are many things I'd like to believe, but as I keep saying, believe has a lie in it, right in the middle. B-E-L-I-E-V-E. Be live. There's a lie there. And we're not going to be freed by lies. We've been enslaved by lies all of our lives. And generation after generation, going back eons, there's been this great deception. And it continues. Has it reached its head? Is the whole thing going to burst open and all of a sudden we're going to know the truth? Wouldn't that be wonderful? But will it take the destruction of most of the elite? When I say the elite, I mean, I shouldn't have said the word elite. I did, but I should not have. I should have said the elect, those chosen by God. I don't even know if that there is an elite or an elect. I think we've all been chosen by God, but we've rejected God's choice. Now, of course, when I say chosen by God, I mean the God that loves us. I hope such a God exists, don't you? That God actually does care. That God actually did send people like Jesus and like the Buddha and others before us, generations before us, to lift us up and liberate us. Even Muhammad had his good points, at least at the beginning. I think he was infiltrated at the end of his life also. Be that as it may, it's not about which religion is right. As I keep on saying, are we ever going to get it? That the only way out of this quagmire is to rise up and say, I want to hear the truth. No matter how it pisses me off, I want to know the truth that sets me free. I want to be liberated from the bondage of lies and the bondage of sin. Yeah, sin that separates us from knowing the truth, that makes us feel separate. We are not separate except in our minds. We can't be separate from the life force energy that surrounds us. We can't be. It's impossible. Yet, by perception, we can feel as if we are separate. Can we actually have our eyes opened and our hearts opened and our ears opened and our beings opened enough so that we can literally become free? I thought, and I want to continue to think, I'd like to continue to think, that that is the path we are on, the path of awakening. But when I look at what's happened in the recent election in Israel, and I see that Donald Trump is surrounded by Zionists and warmongers, including generals and admirals, they're supposed to be doing military tribunals in former Cuba, in Guantanamo, and even in other places. And they're supposed to be bringing all these criminals to trial, and justice is supposed to be done. Will that actually ever happen? Or is it just part of the con game that's been going on for a very, very long time in human history? I'd like to be wrong, but I think Donald Trump is a deception. Thank you for listening, and namaste.